So the grass is getting pretty long. So before I do anything today, I gotta mow the grass. And I used to have a I still have a riding lawnmower, but the decompression valve in the engine broke, so when it tries to start, it starts with full compression and doesn't turn over very quick. So it's been parked for a while. But if I was mowing all the grass with the riding lawnmower, it would take me all day. But because I got this rough cut mower that I repaired a little while ago, it takes about an hour or so. I just drive around with the tractor. And this tractor is pretty cool. This is a Massey Harris 44. Pretty old tractor, 1956 or something. But it just puts around on idle. It doesn't engage the governor mowing the lawn, and this tractor gets better gas mileage than the riding lawnmower cutting the grass. It's pretty amazing. Only problem is, if this tractor is sitting out in the sun, the gas tank gets really hot and it evaporates all the gas. So I'll have to remember to, maybe I'll park it beside the workshop there so it's not sitting in the heat. Oil's still good. It's not an oil burner. Probably original engine from 1950s, and it still doesn't burn any oil. Turn the gas on. Yep. Yeah, perhaps I gotta do some work on this. Perhaps I gotta do some work on this battery cable. Just gotta work for today. No. Yeah, it's not the connection, it's not on the post connection, it's on the... Okay, I'll go clean that up and clamp this thing back down. It just got all rusted up. It's a little bit too old. This was a cheap one. It's all metric bolts in there. I don't have any metric number 10 nut, bolts and nuts like that, so got some standard ones in there. Or maybe just straight lead, but okay, I'll try that. There we go. Yeah. Like my homemade deck height adjuster. I moved the wheels farther ahead and I put the trailer jack on there, and that works pretty good. It's simple. I was going to use an electric actuator, but that's simple enough. Just give it a couple cranks either way. It's never going to break, unlike an actuator, or yeah, and you don't have to connect hydraulic lines like if I had a hydraulic cylinder there. But this tractor doesn't have hydraulics. This tractor is strictly just an engine and a PTO with a belt drive. I'm gonna drive ahead to make sure there's no bunny under there. Don't want to dice up a bunny. I could probably speed it up a little bit. Take that second there. I sheared off the pin and I can't get the shaft to go back over. I have to go get a hammer and then come back at it. But it's cutting pretty good. Well, I got it. Got it all cut down as best as I could. I got the walk behind 24-inch rough cut mower. I'm gonna go in there and good. Got the entry road all clear cut there. So I'm gonna start installing the big screws to lock the trusses down, but I'm having my doubts because you see in the picture here it shows it going through the top plates, through the bottom cord and into the top cord. Problem is the trusses for this house are not standard roof truss. They don't have that flat piece in the center. These ones are for a cathedral type ceiling, so they're up at an angle. And they also have the block at the end there, so it's not the top cord isn't right close to the bottom cord, so there's no way to get a nail through those. Like it goes straight up, but then that nail would have to be like 1.5 feet long, so that's not going to work. But the blocking I have in between the truss, there's one nail in through the top cord into the blocking that way, and there's one nail through the top cord into the blocking this way. So there's 2 nails back and forth into the blocking, and the sheathing on the outside goes up onto the blocking and is nailed to the blocking. So I think it's probably good enough. We'll see what the inspector says. I'm gonna put the big screw on the inside to fasten the truss to the top plate. I wanted to get where are they? I wanted to get Simpson strong tie type fasteners, but they don't have them at Home Depot. They had these TimberLok ones, structural wood screws. Shows how to install it, 15 to 30 degree angle through the bottom 2 plates and into the bottom cord, through the bottom cord into the top cord. So that's with a standard truss. Doesn't really work with this type truss, but at least it'll hold the bottom. It'll go through the, well, see, mine's, the truss on here is a little bit different. So the bottom cord goes and it stops right at that. So the bottom cord goes and it stops right at that block there. So when I screw into that, all I'm going to be screwing into is that block. I'm not going to be screwing into the bottom cord, and I'm not going to be screwing into the top cord. So we'll see what the inspector says about that. At least the bottom of the truss will be fastened. They say the reason they want that screw through the bottom cord and into the top cord is because you could possibly have the top cord or the board on the top of the truss to rip off from the structure. You know, to rip off from the truss structure if you don't have that screw all the way through. So I don't know, we'll see. These aren't the, so here I'll show you what the, so the original drawings look like that. So there's the top cord, or so there's the top plate. So there's the window header, there's the top plate, and here's the roof truss. And it still has the blocking in there. So that didn't change. But then you look on this picture and they're all as one. So I don't know. I mean, my eave is the same. I did a 2x6 fascia. I used pressure treated. So that truss is different from that truss there. That one has the blocking in there. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think it's almost, it's probably fine the way it is, you know, because that OSB is holding the roof on. And the OSB is the OSB is glued and nailed to the wall there. So it's nailed to the wall and then nailed to that top blocking. And then that blocking is cross-nailed into the rafters. So I don't think it's going anywhere. At least it's not going anywhere very easily. But I'm gonna put the screws in and we'll see what the inspector says. I guess I'll just have to eyeball 30 degree. I'll try to figure it out with my speed square. So I'll just read the instructions here a little bit. Use a 6-inch fastener. Use a 6-inch fasten master TimberLok. Where the truss is aligned directly over the wall stud, insert the fastener point where the bottom of the top plate and the top plate of the stud meet. Where the truss is located between 2 studs, insert fastener point on the bottom surface of the top plate, no greater than 1/2 inch from the inside edge of the top plate. So I guess that means they don't want it more than 1/2 inch in from the inside edge of the top plate. So they want you to start it right in the corner, I guess. So drive the fastener through the underside of the top plate at an angle between 15 degrees and 30 degrees and into the center of the truss. Fastener must be driven into the center of the 1.5-inch truss cord plus or minus 1/4 inch with the threads fully engaged. That means you got to get it within a 1/4 inch of the edge, preferably right in the center. You got 3/4 either side, so right in the center you should have 3/4 meet either side. With the threads fully engaged in the truss cords, bottom cord, top cord, or both are acceptable. In the truss cords, it says bottom cord, top cord, or both are acceptable. Oh, so you can drive it into the bottom cord, or you can drive it into and through both bottom and top cord is fine. Bring fastener head flush with the wood surface. Okay, so as long as I got these in there, I should be good. As per these, they say it's fine to drive it into the bottom cord. I guess if I was doing hurricane clips, which is what the drawing specified, it would be the same story. H1 hurricane tie by truss supplier, and that's the hurricane clip that looks just like that. It has you put one nail on either side of the truss. It just fits underneath, and then you nail it below the truss, like 3 or 4 nails, and then you just one on either side of the truss, and it's got 2 little tabs that go beside it. So that's the H1 clip. So, and that clip would just be on the bottom of the truss, but in my drawings I got 2 different drawings. So that drawing shows a truss with a block in it, a 6-inch block, or a raised truss on the edge. And then you look at the detail, and it shows a standard truss just running straight through, where the bottom cord and the top cord run into one another. So drawings aren't always clear, but as per TimberLok, if you screw it into the bottom cord only, that's acceptable. But the risk is that if you're screwed into the bottom cord only, your truss may separate in the event of a freaking tornado, you know. But anything less than that, nothing is gonna really happen. Plus, I'm not worried because I got a nail into the top cord both ways, and my eave is gonna be framed out with 1/4 inch. And my eave is gonna be framed out with 1/4 inch, same as how that 6 inch is there on the end. So you have 1/4 inch nailed to the bottom side of the eave board, and then frame back to the wall. Did I say 1/4 inch? I mean 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch lumber. So that 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch lumber nailed to the wall, 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch number nailed or screwed to the bottom of the eave, framed in between there, and then soffit onto that. I just have to figure out how to box in these corners here. If I have time, I'll figure that out before the inspector gets here. I also have to figure out how I'm gonna explain how I fastened this dormer, or this what's the name of it, this end wall here above my rafter. So I'll have to fasten that to the rafter somehow, probably just blocking, because right now it's just sitting on top of the rafters, like I got it, it's running across here. So probably what I'll do is I'll cut out this plywood, and I'll put one of those H1 clips just reversed onto the top quarter of the truss, and then that'll fasten it there, and then that'll be the path of load, or whatever you call it, path of fastening from the foundation up. So yeah, so I got 2 of the screws in there, the truss lock screws, one there, one there. So when they say no more than a 1/2 inch in, that means they want you to pretty much set it right in the corner. They don't want it like vertically, even though that'd probably work. They want it at an angle. So I'm guessing there's something to the design there where they want it angled in instead of just straight in from the underside. So yeah, it probably has more strength that way, because if it's straight vertically, you know, it could just rip out, you know, but if it's at an angle, it's harder to rip out. It'd actually have to shear that fastener off. So that's probably why they want it at an angle. It holds better. So make sure you don't run it in straight. Make sure you put it in at an angle like it specifies in the instructions. So read the instructions. So I got this one started. I'll get my square, and you can see what see how I figured out the angle. So, you know what, one time I knew how to use this thing, and then so many things happen and I don't know how to use it anymore, but you know, I know that, you know, you can use it to find angles. And well, say you're cutting and then it's like, oh, a 15-degree roof slope, and then you could line up 15-degree on your square and then cut it off. So that's kind of what I did here. So the angle of the screw has to be between 15 and 30 degrees. So I'm holding my square here, and you see those numbers on the bottom. So we got 15 degree here, we have 25 and 35. So right now I'm sitting at roughly 27 degrees. So it's a 27 degree angle currently, and that is acceptable. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw that in. And when I lined up my screw, I made sure it started going in and it's perfectly straight. I looked down the screw. So I look down the screw and it looks like it's gonna go in and it's not gonna go off at an angle. So you really only get one shot at this, so make sure you drive it in nice and straight. I mean, you could probably strip it out and run it in at weird angles and then slap some glue on it to hide it, and then run it back in, or that get it so marred out that there's nothing really holding there, and then just hammer it in with your hammer and make it look like it's actually there, and then probably fool the inspector. But it's probably a lot better just to take care and run it in straight the first time, and it's not that hard. So here I go. And if it is sitting at a little bit of an angle when you get those first threads, just, you know, just pull it a little bit, and when it goes in, it'll kind of recenter itself in the right direction. And that's just because my battery's dead. Yeah, need a little bit more battery power, and then it'll go in a lot easier. There we go. Okay, let's see what difference that made. There we go. There we go. And just a little bit of bump out for the drywall, but that'll be fine. And that's because I took the bit off. If I would have driven it right in with a full battery, the bit would have stayed on there. It kind of squishes the wood around the screw as it goes in. And then the wood kind of pops out behind it, and then it's hard to get the bit back on, but that one's good enough. Okay, so just like that, I'll go and screw off the rest of them. I'll use my speed square to make sure I got the angle correctly. I'll line it up. I thought this bit was magnetic. So I got blocks underneath, so I kind of screw into the block first and then angle it back. And come to the front here and kind of eyeball it. I'm a little bit going one way, so straighten it out. That looks pretty good, kind of. Probably go back that way a little bit. And I grab my speed square, check the angle. My angle's a little bit steep on that one. I'm at 32, yeah, 32 degrees. So I'll back it out a bit and try to get it a little bit steeper. You kind of gotta get it, like pull it out, bang it in a little bit, and then when you push it in, put a little bit of force on it, and then it'll find some new threads and go in at a different angle. There we go. So my new angle there is roughly 18, 19 degrees. Yeah, 17. Yeah, so 18 degrees roughly. Top plate here. So something like this. Or where's that hurricane clip? Here, let's jump up there for a sec. So here's my board for the eave. So it's nailed into the truss, and then it's running out past this end wall here. So what I'll do is I'll either put a hurricane tie on there, but I'd like to put something to the top plate here, so I might do a strap. Just nail a strap on there. Something like that, and down on the wall, or get one of those straps I can put a twist in it. I don't know, or put a screw in and then strap this top down to here, because the outside has the sheathing on it but the inside has nothing. So yeah, I'll strap it, or I'll put some kind of clip in the corner here to fasten these eave boards. I got a compilation of 3 right here, so there's 3 of them. So yeah, I definitely need a clip in this corner here. Even if the inspector doesn't inspect it and want it, I'm definitely going to put a clip there. A clip or a strap, something to hold this on to the end wall. Yeah, because if I run one screw from there into here, what's holding this top plate on? You know, there's nothing holding it to this blocking at the end. It'll need a strap for sure. So I'll figure something out there. H1 clips look like this. That's an H1 clip. And the alternative is, you know, just a single-sided hurricane clip like this one. But you could substitute 2 of these for one of those. So if they require one of those and you can only get one of these, just put one on both sides. So you put one on this side. And how is that? Where's that? And on that side, something like that. So that side, how does that work? Something like that. Maybe it doesn't work. Gotta test that out. So it would go like that, or it would go doesn't work. Oh shit. Okay, well, these only work on one side. No, that can't be. Oh yeah, they work on the other side too. You just gotta flip them around so it'll sit like that. Okay, so one on that side like that, and then one on this side like that. Okay, so yeah, we'll substitute 2 of these for one of the H1s. And those have 3 nail holes on the side. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the side and 5 on the bottom, and that has 4 total. So 2 of these might be better than one of those, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I wouldn't use all those nail holes unless Simpson Strong Tie specifies use all the nail holes, then use them all. If you put that many nails in the rafter, it may split it, maybe. If you use screws, it might be okay. Anyway, that's a H1, and then this is another one. Okay, I got them all in. Just gonna double check, make sure I got them all. Looks to be, I got them all. Didn't miss any. I threw a couple in the corners of the top plates there just to screw them together. I got some some 5-inch number 10 screws, and that's how I fastened the top plates together. Or they might have been 6-inch screws, but just regular construction screws, not the fancy truss lock ones. So I got 3 truss lock screws left, and I'm looking to put them in somewhere. I just making sure I got them all in the studs first, or all in the top track into the trusses first. Making sure I didn't miss any, because I don't want to buy another $50 box because I missed one. Suppose I could take it out though if I put it in somewhere else. Okay, and around the windows, I put a few in here. There's double windows, so I put a couple there to hold the top plates together. Yeah. So it's not really a spec, the ones above the windows, but it's not gonna hurt anything. So I got 1, 2, 3 there. Throw another one here, and then I got strapping. I might throw a couple more straps there.